What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. It's time to give you my latest bracket update. This is being filmed as of Thursday evening, so there's going to obviously be some changes tonight, tomorrow. The more we get into conference tournament play, there's going to be changes. I'll be giving you updates throughout the week and the weekend, especially next week leading into officially March Madness. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Join me down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and subscribe if you're not already. All right, so pretty much going to have the team, their record, and then if you see this little conference next to them, that means I'm assuming they're going to win their conference. So one seeds, we've got Auburn at 27-3. I think they're pretty much right now the confirmed number one seed, no matter what happens. So I've got them winning the SEC. We've got Duke at 27-3 out of the ACC, Houston at 26-4 out of the Big 12, and then Florida right now in that last number one seed spot at 26-4. It's probably going to be Florida, Tennessee, or Alabama. One of those three. Right now, Florida's in the driver's seat, so give me Florida as the last one. All right, two seeds. We've got Tennessee at 24-6, Alabama at 23-7. Those are the only two options I think that could jump up to that last number one. And then we've got Michigan State winning the Big Ten, and then Clemson 25-5. So that is kind of the big question right now. We know kind of the top seven, I would say. The big question is who's going to get that last two seed. Is it going to be Clemson? Is it going to be somebody we're going to talk about on the 3 seed line? To be determined. But as of right now, I've got Clemson. They're rolling right now. They look pretty good. Threes, we've got Texas Tech, Wisconsin, Iowa State, and then St. John's out of the Big East at 26-4. So if somebody's going to get that other 2 seed, it's going to be one of these 4 teams. I think if Tech or Iowa State goes on a run in the Big 12 tournament, they could get it. Wisconsin, if they somehow win the Big Ten tournament, I think they could do it. And then St. John's, if they just went out like they have been record-wise, they could jump these teams. They just don't have the kind of high-quality wins that the other teams do. 4 seed line, we've got Missouri at 21-9, A&M at 21-9, Memphis 25-5 out of the American Conference, and Louisville at 24-6. Memphis and Louisville have the good records, but there's kind of a limit on how high they could get. Now, Louisville, if somehow they get a good draw in the ACC tournament, I could see them jumping. If somehow they beat Clemson and Duke in the ACC tournament, they could definitely jump a seed line. But Memphis, I think they're stuck at a max at 4. Now, Missouri and A&M could climb to a 3. More than likely, it'd be Missouri if one of them could. But as of right now, these are my 4 seeds. 5 seeds, Oregon, Arizona, BYU, and Purdue. So we've got kind of a trio here. 2 Big 10 teams, 2 Big 12 teams. And I don't know necessarily what the ceilings are for these. Arizona and BYU, I think, could definitely climb up. And Oregon, Purdue could as well. Now, I don't think they're going to get above a 4 seed. But one of these 4 could definitely jump into the 4 seed line. 6 seeds, Kentucky, they're kind of free falling right now. I actually had them as a 3 seed the other day last week, and that's not happening. Maryland, you might see higher in some people's polls, some people's rankings right now. I've got them as a 6 seed, though. Ole Miss and Kansas, same thing. Kentucky and Kansas, if they keep piling up the losses, they're probably going to keep dropping. But they've got such good wins, especially Kansas. I have to leave them as a 6 seed right now. All right, so 7 seeds, Marquette, Michigan, UCLA, and then St. Mary's out of the West Coast Conference. St. Mary's, they're kind of limited on how high they're going to get unless their only saving grace could be if if the committee really likes Gonzaga, St. Mary's is going to have to get bumped up as a result because they have multiple wins over Gonzaga. So depending on what the committee thinks of Gonzaga, St. Mary's is going to raise up as well, but it's going to depend on that. Marquette has dropped a lot. Michigan has dropped a lot as well over these last couple of weeks. So both of those really dropping significantly. All right, so 8 seeds, we've got Georgia, 19-11, Vanderbilt at 20-20, Illinois at 19-11, Mississippi State at 20-10. So we've got some big conference teams here that have, pretty good records. They've got some good wins. Like if I was to move anybody up out of this list, it'd probably be Georgia, just off of their quality of wins. I know they have a lot of losses, but they've got some really good wins. 9 seeds, Creighton, UConn, New Mexico, and Gonzaga. So you're probably going to see the 8 seeds and the 9 seeds kind of mix and match throughout some rhyme or reason. They're all pretty similar. You've got the other ones on the 8 seed line that are obviously from bigger conferences, but you could definitely argue that some of these teams, New Mexico and Gonzaga, could get moved up, but we'll see what happens there. 10 seeds, we got West Virginia and Baylor. So as of right now, unless there's just a complete collapse, I think West Virginia and Baylor are safe right now. I think they're probably in the field. I think they've done enough. But San Diego State and Utah State slowly creeping more towards the bubble. So these, not West Virginia, but the next three would be a part of my last four buys right now. Baylor, San Diego State, and Utah State. And again, I think Baylor is more safe than the other two teams. San Diego State and Utah State, they're not doing themselves any favors right now, constantly losing games. All right, so these right here, I've got separated. My last buy would be Boise State right now at 22-8. I think their record's too good, and I think they have good enough wins. I think they're in. Last four in, though, at the bottom here, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Indiana, and Xavier. I think Oklahoma and Arkansas are in good shape right now to get in as long as they don't have a complete collapse. But we'll see what happens. Oklahoma, big win over over Missouri last night to get them kind of leap them back into the field. They play Texas on Saturday. That could be almost a play-in game. We'll see what happens. But as of right now, out of these four, as far as who I think is the most comfortable, I would probably say Oklahoma and Arkansas, because even if Oklahoma loses to Texas, I think that would just bump Texas above Xavier probably, and not necessarily bump OU out. As for Indiana, they play Ohio State. That might be an elimination game, uh, depending on what both those teams do in the conference tournament. Arkansas, I think they're in good shape right now, and Xavier, uh, they're kind of dependent on some other teams, so we'll see what happens there. As of right now, they're my last team in, but Texas is slowly creeping up. You've got Colorado State, another team creeping up. San Francisco is another team. You've got a lot of teams kind of sitting right there, trying to work their way in. All right, so the 12 seeds, we've gotten to officially the auto bids now. So UC San Diego, 26-4 out of the Big West. Now, if we get any bid thieves, I'll be curious to see if any of these teams right here can steal a bid. So if UC Irvine wins the Big West, will UC San Diego get an at-large bid and bump out Xavier? We'll have to see what happens. VCU, same thing out of the A10. If like Dayton or George Mason or St. Joseph's even, because St. Joseph's actually has a pretty good resume. If one of them upsets VCU and steals the bid in the A10, will VCU get in that large? We'll see. McNeese State, why can't I talk today? 25-6 out of the Southland. High Point, 26-5 out of the Big South. 13 seed line, Arkansas State taking over the Sun Belt bid right now. 22-9, Utah Valley. I know there's some misspellings here, but I had to like try to shrink it on there. So Utah Valley, I had to kind of fit on here out of the WAC. 21-7. Lipscomb 23-9 out of the A-Sun, and Yale 19-7 out of the Ivy League. 14 seeds, Akron 24-6 out of the Mid-American. Norfolk State 20-10 out of the Mid-East. Chattanooga 23-8 out of the Southern Conference, and then Northern Colorado 23-8 out of the Big Sky. 15 seeds, Jacksonville State 20-10 out of Conference USA. They might could be a little higher. We'll see. Towson 21-10 out of the Colonial. Central Connecticut 24-6, really good record out of the Northeast. Robert Morris 23-8 out of the Horizon. And then 16 seeds, Southern 19-10 out of the Southwest Atlantic, and Bryant 20-11 out of the American East. And then these last four here would be kind of my first four playing games. Southeast Missouri 20-11 out of the Ohio Valley, American 19-12 out of the Patriot, Omaha 19-12 out of the Summit, and then Quinnipiac 18-11 out of the Metro Atlantic Conference. But as of right now, that is my current bracket as of Thursday evening. We could actually have our first bid tonight, because one of the conference tournaments, there's two semis going on right now, and in one of the semis, there's the team that is their first or second year in Division One, so they're not eligible for the NCAA tournament yet. So if they win and the other team wins, the other team will get the automatic bid. But we'll see what happens there. But let me know down in the comment section your thoughts. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video, and most importantly, subscribe.